this is the UK one. Just to let you know up front, because apparently there's a United States version of this band and a UK version of this band, which is not confusing. No, not at all. Hi guys, welcome to Lee Reacts. Hope everyone's having a good day. I know I am. And we are back with the first pick of a new patron, which is always a special ordeal. So welcome to the family, John E. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to all of our future music endeavors together. We're going to be listening to a band called Kaleidoscope UK. The track is called The Feathered Tiger, off the album Faintly Blowing, which was released in 1969. There isn't much info on this band. Obviously, I have a personnel list. I have a track listing. Peter Daltrey, I guess, is the one person from this band that's got big. He also was in Fairfield Parlour, but that's I've never heard of them before. Born in England, obviously. So not as popular as the U.S. Kaleidoscope, the British band was also a band from the psychedelic movement with moderate domestic success, just enough international exposure to have this album recognized in the genre's catalog and reported as one of the best in the same. Interesting. The track is called The Feathered Tiger, and it's psychedelic rock, folk rock, and you know that's my favorite kind, so let's go. If y'all want to subscribe, help brother out, click that icon right below my face, leave a like and a comment too, and let's get into it. Alright, Kaleidoscope UK, The Feathered Tiger, 3, 2, 1, go.
Long time ago I had a dream all about a magic zoo, and the animals that lived there were in love like me and you. In the dream I wandered slowly in between each magic cave, and the animals looked happy as they played their silly games. As the dream unwrapped around me, I could see the colors clear. As the minutes split to seconds, I found you were standing near.
That guitar is beautiful.
So we wandered through the happy of the little magic zoo, and the animals were quiet as they stared at me and you. As the sun rose we bought ice cream, but we couldn't eat it all. So we gave it to the animals to keep them very cool. Their happy laughter filled our ears, and it made us happy too. The animals were beautiful in their yellows, reds, and blues.
Very dreamy.
Shadows of their fig tree, we did find a silent cage, and the animal that lived there didn't seem to want to play. We looked between the rusty bars through the darkness of the cage, and suddenly we saw the sad as the feathered tiger lay.
Sounds like a trip.
We found a key, unlocked the bars of the feathered tiger's cell, and with words of kindness begged him his story to us would tell. But he was so very scared, he said we would laugh at him. So we led him to the sunshine and played games. him win. We all played amongst the colors in the little magic zoo. And soon he was much happier, and we both loved him too. But the evening drew in swiftly, and the feathered tiger cried. He was sad because we had to leave, and the sun slipped from the sky.
Ooh, that bass.
But we told him to act bravely.
It's the perfect song to close the night on for me.
Never feel unclean. He was the only feathered tiger that we both had ever seen. We told him, only be yourself. You don't really want to change. To be yourself is beautiful. To be someone else is strange.
Isn't that the truth? There you
The
go.
feathered tiger disappeared, and so did my magic zoo.
Sounds like he was tripping.
And as I opened up my eyes, there was nothing else but you.
That was so sweet at the end there. Wow. That was really sweet. Nothing else but me and you, baby. Oh, I've been there, man. Sound like him and his girlfriend or his girl went on a trip together, let's say. And they all found out some things about themselves that they didn't know beforehand. And that's what I've always said about psychedelics in my life. Especially Owsley. I'll use code words. Owsley, especially when I did do it, stuff like that. Whenever I had a question I needed answered or guidance I needed, to seek that my, I don't know, material mind couldn't come to grips with, or, a big decision or something as such. And it definitely was that. I had to enter a 2-year program once upon a time, a couple years ago, in New York. That's how I moved up to New York and such. I lived in a castle. It was P.T. Barnum's castle. It's so random. But it was a big commitment, obviously. It was either that or I think like 6 years in prison. So I took the 2 years in the castle. Of course I did. And I survived a year there, and then I escaped, and then I'm not going to get into all that. It doesn't matter. But before I went there, I ran away from the first one. The first one was in North Carolina. I completely ditched it. I just left after my mom drove me all the way down there, and I just decided to say, fuck it. I called my friend who lived in Richmond, which was not that far from Greensboro. Well, it was like 4 or 5 hours away. And they started driving, drove me back to Richmond. I was blacked out by the time I got there. And I was obviously withdrawing and as such, because I was on drugs real bad. And they told me I could do whatever I want except that. So I did some LSD to find out what I needed to do, because I was tired and I was at the end of my ropes. And I laughed all night watching horror movies with my friend Randy. And, everyone went to bed eventually, I guess, or, and I didn't. It was just me there and my thoughts and me tripping. And literally, I came to grips with it, that there's no running from this. I have to face it. You have to face up to things. And it gave me the guidance I needed. And in that morning, literally, I was still awake. I didn't sleep in a wink. I remember the sun was still peeking through the blinds. And I called my mom. I was like, look, I had been missing for a couple days at this point. And and I called her and I told her I was ready to go. And she's pissed, obviously, but she's like, okay. And she drove me to New York this time. And then I went to New York instead. And that's a wrap on that story. I just thought I'd add that because that was obviously a trip, a guidance. Because the last line that he said there, that you have to be yourself. It's strange to be somebody else. It's very, very true. So it's Peter Daltrey on vocals and keyboards, Eddie Pumer on guitar and keyboards, Steve Clark on bass and flute, and Dan Bridgman on the drums and percussion. I'd say that obviously the thing that stood out the most was the guitar and the bass at points too from Steve Clark. But Eddie's guitar, absolutely fantastic throughout. I mean, it gave it that psychedelic folk rock feel, that all those chords and the notes, they just gave it this kind of sheen that, I don't know, it's very dreamlike and ethereal at points, but at the same time, it wasn't, I don't know, there's always usually something that grabs me, you know. The only thing that grabbed me in that was the lyrics and the guitar, which is still, that's two more things than some songs do, you know. There's, you know, I didn't really like the production on it, you know. It was a little lacking. The sound was a little flat. I don't know if that's because of the compression from YouTube, or it's because it's an, you know, an album that hasn't been remastered from 1969 and it's just in all its glory, you know. It could be either or, I don't know. But gee, freaking kids, bro. I liked it though. I really, really liked that. I liked the message behind it. I liked the story, and I just appreciate new patrons and them contributing to the pot and the stew that is this channel. And this is a great pick. So thank you to John E. I don't want to say Johnny. I want to say John E. for this pick. Sorry, I slipped it in. You know, I found a slot because he joined really late, and I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll do it. Usually the requesting closed a week before, you know, but this time it didn't. So thank you, John. That was a great pick, and I'm down to hear more from them. I definitely am. That was a, I don't know. I wouldn't say stirring. It was kind of stirring though, you know, to be honest. It wasn't like it reached, I didn't have like a revelation or anything, but I did remind myself of, you know, all those times that I did take certain things to get my mind straight, because sometimes you need to discombobulate to actually find yourself, you know. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later. Patreon right here. All right, that's a picture of it. There's a link in the description. Join the $15 tier, or up you get one free request a month. There's certain rules to everything. If you just take a look at it on the Patreon page, you'll see it. It's under new PayPal/Patreon rules. The requesting post that you request your song on will be going out tomorrow if you're watching day of premiere. If you're not watching day of premiere, disregard this. So yeah, just have your pick ready. And that's, yeah. That's it. There's also PayPal in the description as well if you want to send a tip or a request in that way. See you later, guys. Have a good one.